thrown a couple of states.
I want to go back to Elizabeth Warren because I think she's the most interesting decision maker in many respects going forward. If you'd asked me at the beginning of the day, I thought Elizabeth Warren was going to be here for the duration. She just raised $29 million in February on the back of a couple tremendous debate performances. She has $14 million in a super PAC that's now come in. And her entire brand is she persisted. You know, it's like this is the fighter, smart, substantive, serious. But this was a really adverse night for Elizabeth Warren. And so I'm rethinking even now what her path can look like moving forward. And if you look at what happened in the other part of the candidates, Pete and Amy drop out, endorse Joe, and then their support goes to Joe. But Elizabeth seems to be heightening her contrast with Bernie instead of trying to consolidate. And that, to me, is one of the most important dynamics in the race, because if you have two front runners in the form of Joe and Bernie, and Joe's consolidating, and then Elizabeth stays in the race, I think it's going to be tougher for Bernie. And it's unclear to me whether Elizabeth's support all naturally flows to Bernie in the same way as...
Well, what about an endorsement from her? Who do you think she would... I mean, you would think on paper it would be Sanders, but as you said, people consolidating behind Biden.
Yeah, that's the big question. And I think Elizabeth has been doubling down in terms of saying, look, Bernie has a lot of these great ideas, but I can get things done. And that's been the opposite of the movement in the other with Pete and Amy and Joe. So to me, the decision that Elizabeth makes moving forward is one of the most important decisions in the race. Yeah. And what happens to her support. If she were to endorse Bernie wholeheartedly, that's a very, very different dynamic than if she decides to drop out and does not endorse.
And that's more for, could she endorse Biden? I mean, would that be shocking? Because it's more predictable, say, if she were to endorse Sanders in a way. Coming from the same wing of the party. At first, during this whole campaign, they were loath to criticize each other. That's not the case anymore from her point of view. But well, yeah.
Isn't it sad, though?
What does she do, though? This is kind of an existential
self-fulfilling prophecy. We have been. I mean, she has been hearing. Her supporters have been hearing since the very beginning of this race that she's not electable, that she can't win. My feeds have been full of Warren supporters in the last few days saying, we can't vote for her as much as we love her. We care about progressive values. We got to vote for Bernie. Or a few of them, a smaller number, but a few of them saying, we love her, but we can't vote for her. We need to beat Trump. We're going to vote for Biden.
Just a point. I mean, she beat Biden 3 times.
Oh, she won those debates. She won every one of those debates.
I mean, she beat him in Iowa.
Yeah.
She beat him in New Hampshire. I mean, she beat him. I mean, so you have somebody who was at least doing as well as he was. And now we're just talking about who do you get out, who do you support.
She also almost single-handedly took out
and she took out Bloomberg.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
We haven't talked about that, but when you talk about what happened today, what Elizabeth Warren did to Mike Bloomberg on that debate stage has a lot to do with it, because he was on a trajectory up. And she took the air out of that balloon.
I want to get to Abdul, and I got to go to Wolf.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that Joe Biden's had a great night. A lot of that is because of the public service that Elizabeth Warren did by taking out Michael Bloomberg. I think, you know, the other, just to accentuate this point, you've got a guy, there's this sort of unsaid conventional wisdom that, you know, in lower races down the ballot, self-funders, folks who put a lot of their own money in races, just don't often win as much as you'd think they would. And that's proven true up here. A lot of that is because of Warren. She's brilliant. She's got some incredible policy chops. I really do hope that she lives to fight another day. My hope, however, is that, you know, in this race, she thinks quite carefully about where she goes, because she's got this relationship with the left, and right now that's starting to consolidate. I worry because in some ways she's got a lot of Bernie's positions with a little bit more of an institutional empathy, we'll say, and Bernie's always sort of been an outsider, politicking from the outside.
I gotta go to Wolf.
Team, subscribe for more of these type of videos.